Hey Genderqueers. So before I get started on this video, there's something that I wanted to ask you to do, which is to report a certain page to Facebook. It's kind of making the rounds among students at my college. It's a page on Facebook called Heterosexual Awareness Month. And it sounds offensive, and it's even more offensive than it sounds once you actually go and take a look at what's on the page. It is like 250% just hate speech against LGBTQ people. So I'll put the link down at the bottom. Please take a few minutes just to look over the page first of all, get really offended, and then report it to Facebook. And you can do that by there's a little gear symbol in the top right corner, I think underneath their kind of banner picture. I forget what the term for that picture is, but click on that little gear and the little window will pop down and it'll say report this page or report to Facebook, something like that. You can click on that. It'll ask you why you want to report it. Click on it shouldn't be on Facebook, or it shouldn't be on this site. I can't remember exactly what the wording is. Click that, and then there will be an option to select it as hate speech. Click that, and then the next option will ask you what kind of hate speech it is, and it's against sexual orientation. So, and then there's also an option to leave a message to the admin. Personally, I opted not to do that because the type of people that are on that page, they're not really going to listen to reason. Yeah, so you can do that if you feel so inclined, of course. Personally, I didn't think it would really help. I just really want to get this page off of Facebook because it is just absolutely really horrible. Okay, so now that that's done, so we're talking about, well, I'll answer one of the topics first, and if there's any, I feel like I have time left over, I'll answer the second one. First topic is, well, actually, let me read it right here. Mottos, themes, morals you like to live by, and outlooks on life. Examples: treat others how you would want to be treated, karma, always look on the bright side, etc. So I had to think about this quite a bit. It's not really an easy topic for me because I tend to be pretty pessimistic most of the time, and also not very good with vague emotional kind of questions, I guess. So one of the things that I thought of was to be open-minded and respectful to all types of people. There are a few exceptions, but let's just go with that for now. You know, obviously treating other people badly for something that they can't help is, you know, inexcusable, of course. And then most of the time, it's also, I think, inexcusable to treat people poorly based on their own personal choices, as long as they're not breaking the law, hurting anybody, that kind of thing. And there's a lot you can learn from different types of people. It's really good to be open-minded because, you know, that's really the only way you can grow as a person. If you think that you have all the answers, you're never going to learn anything from other people. You're never going to learn anything from the different situations in your life. So I think it's really important to listen to other people who are different from yourself, even if you totally disagree with them. And, you know, even if you disagree with them, listening to their argument can actually strengthen your belief in your argument, and it can give you some ammo for, you know, shooting down their argument, I guess. But still, even if you disagree with somebody, you should respect them as a person, because I think, you know, as an American, I guess, I believe that everyone, you know, deserves the same treatment and the same rights, regardless of, you know, their opinions on certain issues or certain things that they can't help about themselves, obviously. What else? I also think it's really important to be educated and to educate yourself about controversial issues, political issues, social issues, anything that's really important to you especially. I think it's really important to be totally educated on the issue and not to listen just to individual people, I guess, because people are extremely biased creatures. There's a whole bunch of, you know, psychological phenomenon that that show that people attend to information that they agree with, and they tend to forget information that they don't agree with. So it's really important when looking at whatever the topic happens to be that you don't just take people's words for it, because even if they're not trying to actively skew the information, they probably are, just by virtue of being a human, representing the side that they agree with and disrepresenting the side that they don't agree with, regardless of what the facts actually are. So really try and, if you're researching some sort of topic, try and go to primary sources. Try to stay away from, you know, media articles or comments on those articles, because well, I'm thinking specifically of like psychological studies. Like a study will come out and someone will say, no, that's bullshit, that can't be true, when they haven't actually even read the study itself. I think it's really important to be educated in how to read a study and the basics of scientific method and statistics, so that you can tell, first of all, what the results of a study actually say, as opposed to what people think they say, or, you know, what would get the most sensationalism in the media. And then being able to tell when a study itself is not valid, not scientifically sound. For example, I overheard some people talking about the vaccines cause autism debate, and, you know, it's really not at all possible for vaccines to cause autism, just by virtue of the fact that autism is a developmental disorder that starts before birth most of the time. So anyway, so I knew already that vaccines can't cause autism, but I decided to look and see what the research was on that topic, and I found that you know, one of the studies that kind of kick-started that movement had a sample size of 12 people, which is like crazy low and really, really bad science. So people really, really need to start looking into the actual studies before coming to conclusions about what the facts are on certain issues. So respect people, be educated. Also really important to me is to be involved in something, some sort of cause that will benefit, you know, a wide variety of people, and, you know, doing something that's not selfish. You know, for some people that might be religious, being involved in, you know, a religious organization. I'm not religious, I'm actually actively atheist. So for me it's not religious, but, you know, getting involved in your community, doing things that can benefit people in the short term and in the long term. You know, for example, getting involved in, you know, activism, or, you know, volunteering somewhere, that kind of thing. I think that's really important to do, because, you know, life is bigger than just you, and there are other people out there that, you know, need help getting their rights, or need help with their life situation, or, you know, lots of different things. I guess that's pretty good for that. We're also supposed to talk about things that we like about ourselves, because, you know, being queer, it's often kind of hard, because we live in a world that doesn't really totally accept us or understand us, and especially physically it can be hard for a lot of gender variant people, since, you know, they don't typically look like how they want to look. So we're supposed to talk about, you know, positive things, get people motivated and whatever. This is actually really hard for me because, you know, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm prone to depression and anxiety, and something that comes along with that is low self-esteem. So it's really hard for me to, first of all, take compliments, and second of all, to find things about myself that I actually like, as opposed to things I don't like, which are a lot easier for me to kind of pinpoint. So I guess things that I like about myself are that, first of all, I'm very intelligent. I've always done really, really well in school, always been really motivated in school. I like learning outside of the classroom. I read a lot. You know, I like to go above and beyond what's asked of me as far as academics, so that's something that I like about myself. I have perfect pitch, which is pretty cool. It's not something that a lot of people have. It makes me kind of unique. Of course, it also really has its downsides. If anyone watching this has perfect pitch or knows someone with perfect pitch, then you are probably privy to the annoyances that it can bring. But it's also, you know, pretty cool. It makes me pretty musically talented compared to a lot of people. Although, also, other parts of my music ability are not as good as other people's just because I haven't, you know, undergone a lot of the training that a lot of people have. So there's that. What else do I like about myself? I guess maybe something physical. That's kind of hard. I have really small feet, which is really interesting. I'm not sure I actually like it. I mean, it's something that kind of gets me attention sometimes when people notice it, but it's really, really hard to actually find shoes that aren't like Dora the Explorer and flower print, because my feet are size 3 in American sizes, which is really, really small. The smallest size they make in adult shoes is 5, and I have the foot size of about, I think like a second or third grader. So yeah, so I mostly just griped about it, but yeah, we're supposed to be talking about positive things, so I don't know, dogs, it's hard for me. Hopefully I'll get better at that in the future. I'm really kind of bad at liking myself and believing that I am a likable person. But I know I am really, it's just kind of hard to see sometimes, so this is really, really long. Okay, bye guys.